Hey YouTube, and welcome back to our 63rd Unity 3D tutorial. So we're going to jump straight in and we're going to begin assigning armor to our character. So last time we put some body spawn, cape spawn, head spawn, leg spawn on our character, and these were for this tutorial now. So what we're going to do is when our character is roughly about here, we'll have two circles apart next to each body part. So next helmet, previous helmet, next helmet, previous helmet. So I could go back and forth on the helmets. And the helmet will be spawned at head spawn, which is luckily bang in the middle of his head. So when we spawn the helmet, it'll be around his head. So what we have to do first is make a prefab of every single thing we want in order to spawn, which is kind of tedious, but you need to do it. So what we're going to do is in character, we're going to create a new folder called equipment. In fact, clothing, armor, that sounds better. Then we'll create a new prefab. So what's our first thing? Well, it's the horned helmet. So we're going to create a new folder in here, head, and put everything in the head in here. So what else do we have? We had the Wonder Woman headband, but we need to know what it's called. It's not the horned helmet, it's the star headband, that's it. So in our prefabs folder, create a new prefab and star headband. Now you will be wondering why we're not just using the actual model, and I'll show you why in a minute. But yeah, so we've got that. Well, we need body now. No, actually it's not body, it's cape. In fact, we'll call it back, and we'll rename all these capes to back spawn, because then we can have like arrow pouches and stuff like that on later. Back spawn, there we go. So we've got back, which is for the cape here. So we don't, so create a new prefab inside here, cape, and don't worry about the different textures, we'll figure that out in another tutorial. This is just for the models at the moment. So let's start off with the headband thing. So the reason we're not using the actual models is if we were to drag this on and put it there, it looks like it fits, correct? But then if we drag it back, don't forget this character is being modified, and I believe these ones have two. So no matter where we put it, it'll always be too small for the character's head. As you can see, too small. So what we need to do is increase the size of it, which we can't. We could either script it for every single object, or we can create a prefab, which I'm going with a prefab. So increase the size 2 by 2 and 2, and that seems to fit perfectly. And now what we're going to do is on this one here, this character, we're going to drag head spawn out of the character, and we're going to copy it, the X position onto the horned helmet, the Y position onto the horned helmet, and the Z position onto the horned helmet. And now, if that looks like it perfectly fits, we know when we spawn helmets onto it, it should fit perfectly onto the character. So that one fits perfectly, so we can drag that into our prefab folder for our horned helmet. So there's our first one. Now we can delete that and do our headband one, which is not the horned helmet, it's our headband. There. So see, that's backwards this time, so we will have to rotate this 180 and increase the size by 222, which I think might be too big. Oh no, it fits perfect. Ish. In fact, no, this needs to be 1.5, doesn't it? Not 21.5, 1.5. Let's try again. No, I guess it likes to be 2. It wants to be a little bit big. Man, that does fit perfectly actually. There we go. So we've got a horned helmet. Not horned helmet, star headband. That seems to look nice, so we copy the XYZ again. If this looks like it's working, then we can paste it into our prefabs folder. So that looks nice, like it's working, so we can stick that in our prefabs folder again. Horned helmet. So we'll do the cape now. So we can put that back into our female one, and we'll take out the cape spawn, or the back spawn then. There. So I don't know where this back spawn cape's pivot is, so this is going to be new, relatively new. So we can stick the cape on, rotate it 180, in fact, wait, yeah, minus 90. There we go. We keep that 85 rotation, and let's see. So go to our top view and drag our cape across, and this needs to be 222 again. I don't know why that was 3, but obviously it wants to be 3. Does that look right? So let's align it, and this needs to be doubled as well, so 3.8, that's nearly 4, so we'll say 8. That looks right. So that looks like it fits in perfectly. So let's assign the back spawn to it. So as you can see, the back spawn is clearly off. So if we were to do that, it'd mess up. So what we can do this time is select the cape's position and paste it into the back spawn to make it, well, correct. So every time we spawn a cape, it'll always spawn on the back correctly. And I've done that backwards. Copy that one and paste it into here. So now when we click between them, you can tell the pivot doesn't move. So now we know the back spawn's correct and the cape is correct. So put the cape back spawn back and the cape into the prefab, which is somewhere here. There we go. So I'll assign the textures later, so you can choose which colour of it you want and everything. But for now, we're not gonna. So we need the prefabs folder. Actually, close our models folder because that's all we've got so far. 3. We'll do skins later as well, so you choose what default shirt and everything you want. You want like your civilian attire, whether you want to this one or the other one, kind of like that. So what we can do now is assign it to each one of these. So what did we start off with? Well, nothing actually. We've not created the script. So let's create the script for it. So scripts, character customization, create a new. I don't know what I did. Create new JavaScript, and we'll call it armor select. Close that. So let's boot this up. Let's copy everything in size select and paste it in here. So let's see. Firstly, we're going to create a var head armor. This will be a game object array, and then below we can type var chosen head, and this will equal 0. So our default head on there will be 0, which is nothing for us. So it'll be completely blank. Yep. So that's that one done. So that's for head. So we can delete this char weight because we don't need that, and paste this back. What else do we have? Armor, well, body and leg. There we go. So we can choose back armor, chosen back, body armor, and chosen body, and leg armor, and chosen leg. So the reason we're using the chosen leg is because when we click next, we can tell it to get the ID of the chosen head. So which array do we want? Click next, default it'll be 0. Then when we click next, we increase the chosen head. It deletes the armor what's currently there, and then spawns the armor from the array into there using that ID. So if you don't get that, you will soon, but yeah. So we're going to empty these buttons because we don't need them, but we're going to keep the actual buttons because we will need the buttons. But the contents of the buttons are no longer of use. So all these go bye-bye. And make it neat, so when we come back we can just clearly use it. And there. So let's see, we've got head first. Select your head. In fact, select your armor. There we go. So firstly we have select your head armor. Yeah. So default we've got next and previous. That looks right. We will have to align this to our character's head, otherwise it'll look a bit weird. But we'll delete this weight one for now because we can just copy and paste this one, which is correct. So for now we'll leave that blank. Yeah, that's alright. So in our size select, somewhere we have told it to move the camera's position to this, so to 10. So in here we'll move it to 10, like so. So it moves across, it's in the right position. But now we need to tell it to turn on armor select, which is this one here. So armor select.enabled equals true, which is this one. So now I need to assign it and then try it. So I don't know what that one is, but okay. And there. So let's see how it looks so far. So we should be going on to the armor. So it will be a male, and ignore that female one, that's our testing model. Set your weight larger, next. And he should be facing me, but because of the other one it messed up. So head armor, we need to put these roughly about to the same place as his head. So what we can do is get the location of head spawn, but only it's X on the one we want. So let's delete this because we don't need this. So if we find the location of this, the X-axis, we can just literally put it next to his head, which will help a lot. So in where it says here, where we want the next button, we can type GameObject.find head spawn, and don't forget both of these have got it in, but when you delete the one you're not using, it should just work perfectly. So head spawn, GameObject.find head spawn dot transform dot position through dot x plus 100. We'll try that. So that should, when it's going the x-axis of the next button, it should find the head spawn, get its x position, and then plus 100 onto it. So we can pretty much just copy that and paste it into here. But we don't need that extra bracket. But this time we'll minus it by 100 because this is previous. Unexpected token dot. What have we got? There we go. Extra comma. There we go. So let's test it. We're just trying to get the position at the moment. So next. So as you can see, that failed miserably because the x-axis because of the camera's look. So that was a failed idea. So we just have to manually do this then. So let's see. Let's just edit undo that. I thought that was going to work. I completely forgot about that. So screen.width minus that. So that should be. In fact, we'll just try it like this. So we'll try plus for 200 and then minus 200. And for the height, we'll try plus 300. Like so. So let's test that. Next. Ooh. That's pretty much in the right alignment kind of thing, but still not perfect. Like the X is right, but the Y is not. So minus 300. In fact, we'll try minus 100. And try again. Next. Ooh, getting better. So bring the X in a little bit. So 100, but we'll move this up. In fact, I can't. Wait, no, it was minus. So 200. Try again. Next. Too high and too lefty. So we'll try. We'll bring this previous button back across only 50, so it's like a bit uneven, but then it's even to our character's bit. Yeah. So our height is 150 because that was too tall. And whatever it is now, we're going to leave it unless it's absolutely terrible, because we could spend all day getting it perfect. That's horrible, but so try 150 here. So we'll leave it at that. That looks perfect. We know it does. So in the next one, we need it to spawn the next chosen armor. However, we already have set it so that 0. Actually, we haven't set it. That's good then. So let's think. We've got 3 armor, 2 body, 3 head armor. That's it. None, spiked, and Wonder Woman. So 3. And what we'll do is assign a prefabs now. So prefabs. That's it. Horned helmet and star headband. Don't forget to leave that second one blank. So I believe we can just make these private. That shouldn't matter. We're not going to see them anyway. Only the integers though. If you make the game objects private, you won't be able to change them. So we'll type var spawning head equals instantiate. Yep, we haven't done that in a long time. So we'll type head armor, and then put our square bracket chosen head, and then where we're going to spawn it. So game object dot find head spawn dot transform dot position, and then quaternion dot identity. If that doesn't work, we might need to try transform dot rotation, but we'll see. So that seems to work perfectly, but however we've got no way of like spawning between them, but for now we'll just leave it blank. So we'll turn this to 1 just to see what it looks like, because we're obviously going to get an error first time we try to spawn a blank object. So next, and next. No reference exception. What's our reference? Oh, it did spawn. 24 gender select. Choice. What is that error? Let's go and have a look, because that keeps popping up. Game object find male. But we're not male no more. I know. We'll just insert a quick if statement here. If game object find male does not equal null, and game object find female does not equal null. So basically, if it can find them objects, then if they're true. If not, don't find them. So now we should get rid of that error for good, because that's kind of annoying. So let's see if that worked again. Next. Is it going to spawn? Previous. Next. Oh, there it is. It is spawning just over and over and over again, which is not good. So we've got that to basically work for now, which is weird. So we'll turn it to 0, and we'll type here if chosen head equals 0, then perform the action, but we're going to change it to does not equal 0. So if it equals 0, don't do anything else, do that. So we're going to find, in fact we're going to type spawning head dot game object dot name equals spawn head, and you'll see why I've typed that now. So every time we activate this, we type game object dot find spawned head, and at the end of this we will type destroy game object that spawned head. So every time we click the button, if it doesn't equal 0, that means we've already spawned something, it's increased. Then destroy the spawned head, increase chosen head by 1, and then spawn it and then change the name of it to spawned head. However, a little glitch is if it doesn't equal 0, then we've got no way of increasing it. But if we spawn that there, well, put it there, then it'll increase it even if it does equal 0. Then destroy it, then do it, then do it. Perfect, I think. We'll have to try it. That might throw an error. I think it might throw an error. Next. next, next. So that's not spawning at all, and we're out of range now. That's because we've gone over the limit. So in here we'll just type print head armor, not head armor, chosen head, so we can see what number we're on all the time. But here, the reason it's destroying it is because if it equals 0, that means it's not spawned anything, but then it's still going to just try and destroy something. So easiest way to fix this is to just take it down a whole lot of pain. We can duplicate, where is it, head spawn, and rename it to spawn head, and we'll just literally drag it in as spawned head. It makes it far easier. So we'll type prefab blank head. Just makes it easier for what we're doing. So where's our spawned head? There we are. Oh, I guess it wants to go there then. So rename it to spawned head. This will spawn without a mesh render as well, so hopefully you shouldn't see it. Please take note on the hopefully. But yeah, so there. Now we can get rid of the does not equal 1 because I don't need that no more. And we can get rid of that there. Bring all these back. So this time it will increase it by 1, destroy where it finds, spawn a new one, and then rename it to spawned head. So we should in theory be able to go over it. So let's see. So it should print what we're on as soon as we get to that script. So 0, 1, 2. There we go, that looks perfect. So the Wonder Woman thing spawns the other way, which is not what we want. So we'll try in here, transform dot rotation. If this doesn't work, then we may have to just quickly change the Wonder Woman's helmet. So let's go back. Next, and next. Well, that seems to work even worse, so we'll just put that back. We have to literally change the Wonder Woman's helmet now. So Star Helmet Prefab, we'll drag it into here, and we'll take note how it decides to go onto one what we haven't done. Great. So it doesn't matter. So that is minus 180. So it's spawning like that. We know that. However, that's not what we need. So what we can do is if we keep that at 0 and drag the objects out of it, yes, we will lose its prefab. We can rotate this. In fact, we'll create a new game object again, and we'll put this bang on top of the star helmet, so it's not really moving anywhere. And again for the z-axis, there. So now we're going to put the two sphere and star in, and click the game object, and now we'll rotate this by 180, and then drag this into the star headband. So the star headband is 0, 0, 0, but everything inside it is pretty much, well, yeah, fine. So we can try that again. So now that should spawn correctly, but before we try it, we're gonna, well, implement a little procedure. So if chosen head is less than, where is it? Head armor dot length. Is it less than or equal to? If it equals the length of it, yeah. So then if it's like 4, then you can't do it. So if it does not equal the length, which is, so the length is 3 for us. If this doesn't equal 3, then it'll spawn. But if it does, then it won't spawn. So we might have to plus equals 1 on the end of that, but we'll see. Yeah. So now what we'll do is duplicate this here. Minus equals 1. And does not equal 0. So if it equals 0, then you can't go back. But if it does equal 0, then you can. If it doesn't equal 0, then you can do what you like. So it'll spawn exact same. That's right. Try again. And we already did local variable. So spawned head pre, spawned head next. Pre for previous, in case you didn't know. Oh yeah. So spawning head, spawning head, spawning head pre, spawning head pre. Try again. when we get to the body and everything, it should be far easier since we don't have any body armor. But so next. Why do we have a blank one? Why is it not throwing an error? What's our third one? I didn't even realise we had a third one. Oh. Do we have a third one? What is our third one? We don't have a third one. So we need to change that -1 and try it again. Because it's thinking we've got a third armor, but I'm not aware of sticking any third armor in, which is kind of weird. So next. Spawn. That was weird. So let's just get rid of the -1. It seems to be working fine, but yeah. So if it gets to that head armor.length, we won't be able to change it. It's fine. So yeah, so that's pretty much done for the head. So we can just duplicate all of this. Boom. Get rid of that. And do we have any body armor? Well, we technically don't have any body armor, so we can't really do that now. So what I'm going to do is get rid of one of these note symbols and just add a multiplication symbol. And at the end of, in fact, put that one back because that's for back. We can do capes. For body, put a multiplication symbol, and at the end, put a multiplication symbol /. So it saves you having to slash every single line out. Really simple trick. So now we can go back to here and type in back. And what we have to do is, if you create any more objects, you have to make sure the pivot point's the same, or create another game object and assign it into it. Well, it's fine. Oh, we never checked the Wonder Woman's helmet. We have to check that in a minute. So select your back armor. I don't know how a cape uses armor. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, it apparently uses armor for us. So the y-axis is 10 and then 150. So we need to move that. So if we get the x-axis of the previous button and the y-axis of it there and put it on the head, I mean the label, what we can do is just move it across like before the previous button. So it says select your head armor, previous head, next. So hopefully that should work. And the same again for here. Well, actually this one. And paste it into here. -150. So 150 here. It needs to move down, so we'll try -50. I think that might work. So let's see if we can like bump this up before we get in there. So chosen back, chosen back, chosen back, chosen back, chosen back, chosen back, chosen back. And instead of head armor, we need back armor, which is this one. Yeah. So head armor, head armor, head armor. So spawning back next, spawning back next, spawning back, and back spawn. So we've got a couple of things to rename, but as I did say, it is easier than what it was. So spawning back previous, spawning back previous, spawning back, and back spawn. And delete spawned back. There we go. So just like that, it'll spawn it and then align it. So before we play, let's actually assign some cape armor, even though you can't have cape armor. So make it equal 2 because we've got blank and then none. So we can assign the cape prefab, and we'll put on here new prefab, no cape, no back, and we'll duplicate the blank head. We don't need that. We'll duplicate the back spawn, rename it to no back just to be safe. And we'll assign it into here. Delete that and assign this one. Boom. So now we should hopefully be able to switch between. So next. Oh, we need to move the labels, but next armor, next armor, then a blank one, then next cape, which fails horrifically, and then no cape. So we've got basically it working. As you can see, it is potential for it's right there. Yeah, so let's move some things around again. So let's just close these if statements for a moment because we don't need them, because they are not working clearly. So this label, it needs to be moved again. So minus 150 is not enough, so we'll try minus 350. 300. And that's the y-axis. The y-axis is right actually. It's the x-axis what we need to mess with. So minus 100. I'm not sure. Minus 100. And this cape thing, we need to sort that out too. So if we were to drag this into here and click this one and get the back spawn, copy the, well, take it out, put the positions. As you can see, the rotation is different, so we need to do the same as what we did for Wonder Woman. Because it's not spawning with the rotation. There is some code to do that, but I don't know it off the top of my head, and it's just, personally, I think it's easy to just do it like this. Well, that made it inconvenient since there's a wall there, so let's just hide this wall. Boom. Ugh, that looks horrific, but okay. So, we'll change this to, in fact, we'll duplicate that. So we've got an exact replica of it, and we'll delete the mesh because we don't want a mesh on it. Hide this cape for a moment. No cape. Get rid of the animator because we don't need it. Remove and reset the material, so we've got a blank material. That's not working at all, so we'll just create a new game object instead. Cape. There. Cape. There. Cape. There. So cape, assign that and drag it in. So rename this to cape. Add the back spawn back to the mail. Show our brick wall again. Add our cape to our prefab. Replace and see that the materials isn't working. So where's our green cape? Wow, this could be a long hunt. Models. Materials, green cape, green cape. Test 2. So let's see. Sorry if this tutorial is long, but this is one of the hardest ones. Set your height, set your weight. The back armor is all the way over there, for some reason that's over there, but next. Perfect. Look at that. We can now choose between our characters. So we'll assign the labels here, make them right, and then we'll go on to the next tutorial. So the next tutorial might be adding skins, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to have a look at that. 100, 100. They should be the exact same place, but they are not. Oh, that's why. Divided by 2. Now they're the exact same place. So the head one was fine, but it needed to be moved out more, so we'll try plus 300 and same again. And we'll try again. Ah, opposite way, then it would have been perfect. So close. Ooh, ever so close. I am actually in the middle of trying to make a project for free. I'm going to give it out for free, and you'll be able to just literally click and drag your GUI text. That's perfect. Look at that. You'll be able to drag your GUI textures where you want it, and it'll give you the code for it. So hopefully that'll be so much easier. But yeah, so well, that works perfect for now. So what we've done recently, let's have a quick overview. Select your character gender, choose your weight. Only problem is now if I put that on, watch this, the horns are a bit too small, so we will need to figure out a way to make that work. But yeah, so that works perfect for now, except for the weight and height thing. But thank you for watching. Sorry it's been so long, and see you next time.